The game of baseball. It's like the cycle of the seasons. Spring brings renewal and the eternal hope that this is our year. Summer's heat brings wins and losses, separating those who might be contenders from those who are pretenders. And in the fall, the labor of summer brings two contenders together for a final showdown to determine a champion. It's time for the Gildan AAA Championship game, live on NBCSN. What a magnificent September night for baseball, as NBCSN brings you the Gildan AAA Championship game, the national championship of AAA baseball, featuring the winners of the Pacific Coast League, the Fresno Grizzlies, and the winners of the International League who won the Governor's Cup, the Columbus Clippers, live on NBCSN. Hi, hello, and welcome to El Paso, everyone, along with Bobby Valentine, who's played in the minor leagues, managed in the minor leagues, played in the major leagues, managed in the major leagues, and the second member of our crew who will be journeying around the ballpark all night long, John Manuel. I'm George Grand. Bobby, long season. Started back in February. Bottom line is, final day, you'd like to have a win.
You'd like to have a win, and you know, this is as close as you get to the major leagues, and for some guys this will be as close as they ever get. But they started this journey this year in April, and now it's September 22nd, Tommy Lasorda's birthday, and they're playing on their biggest stage at the biggest time, and they might be tired, but there'll be no shortage of adrenaline tonight.
Over the years, we've had some stars that have come from likely and unlikely places. Sometimes a veteran player playing in his last game, sometimes young players. Well, we've got two young pitchers who will make their national television debut tonight, both for the Columbus Clippers and for the Fresno Grizzlies. Ryan Merritt will get the ball for Columbus. Chris Stavinsky will get the ball for the Fresno Grizzlies, two guys who have shown that they are capable of pitching at this major league and minor league level. They'll get the ball tonight, and it should be an interesting evening for both of them and for both of their teams.
And Stavinsky making his first start in AAA, so he is really amped up tonight, George.
Third member of our crew is John Manuel from Baseball America. Big John, great to have you with us. This is a city, El Paso, that is laden with baseball history.
Yeah, thanks, George. We have more than 100 years of professional baseball history here in El Paso. Over the last 50 years, the bulk of that was spent in the AA Texas League, where teams like the Sun Kings, for whom the saloon is named, and the Diablos were minor league affiliates in the Texas League. After about a 10-year hiatus, organized baseball returned to El Paso 2 years ago with the AAA Pacific Coast League affiliate, the El Paso Chihuahuas. Now, the Chihuahuas have sent players up to the parent Padres this year in San Diego, but they also sent their manager this year, Pat Murphy. Now back to our manager, Bob Valentine, and George in the booth.
Thanks, Big John. He'll be venturing all around the ballpark to bring us a whole lot of stories. Fresno, they won the PCL title. Columbus, they won the International League title. Starting lineups and more coming up after these messages on NBCSN. Back with Southwest University Park in downtown El Paso. George Grand, Bobby Valentine, John Manuel will be roving around the ballpark all night long. These two teams had a long, long road to get here. The Columbus Clippers, you see in blue, they are the home team because the International League won the All-Star game earlier this summer. Fresno defeated El Paso 3-1, then defeated Round Rock 3-2 to get here. The Columbus Clippers beat Norfolk, and then in a heated series defeated the Indianapolis Indians 3-2 to wrap things up and make it to El Paso. Let's check our Gildan starting lineup for tonight for the Fresno Grizzlies, the visiting team. Tony Kemp out of Vanderbilt, bright young player, will be in the leadoff spot. Alex Presley, veteran outfielder, will bat number 2. Tyler White will hit in the number 3 spot. Defensively for the Columbus Clippers, it'll be Ramsey, Holt, and Choice in the outfield. Diaz, Siriaco, Aguilar, and Adam Moore behind the plate, and Ryan Merritt is on the mound. The story of Ryan Merritt, let's take a look at his pitch repertoire heading into today's game.
Fastball, changeup, curveball, just turn it, cutter.
Turn it, cutter, and we're ready to go. And Bobby, a guy that you knew pretty well, Steve Carsey, who was one of his minor league coaches, he said he's the one that helped him develop that cutter. He's the one that helped him really turn the corner this year, and this young left-hander's ready to go.
Well, it looks like he has very good stuff. Looking at the tape, he has command, and we'll see how he controls his emotion.
Here's Tony Kemp in at 273 on the season. Kemp 33 stolen bases overall. 20 of those stolen bases came here after he came up to the AAA level. He's got speed, good power, and you know this Fresno team, of course, now in Houston. You know, when you played, Fresno was always a Giants farm team. Now it is the Houston Astros farm team. Of course, Jose Altuve is a little guy who plays big, and you put this guy Kemp in the same mold. He's little, but boy, he plays big.
And he falls off the tough pitches. He uses the entire field. He runs the bases very well, and he's the kind of guy you want leading off the game because he's already telling his dugout what the fastball looked like when it came inside.
Merritt, the left-hander, delivers down and away. Kemp 5'6", 161 pounds. He'll turn 24 on October the 31st. Originally a 5th-round draft pick in 2013 under Vanderbilt. Great college program. Here's a bouncer to the right side. Siriaco gobbles it up over to Aguilar, and there's one away. Our Merrill Lynch keys of the game, Bobby. These two teams, similar story for both managers.
Absolutely. You know, they played the season. They're in the big game, and they're going to depend on their defense and the composure of the guys in the middle of the diamond to throw strikes and give their defense a chance to make the play.
Here's Alex Presley, a veteran, the right fielder tonight. Presley had a tremendous postseason. He leads all of minor league baseball with 16 postseason hits. Kemp, in fact, had 15, and Tyler White behind Presley 12 hits. That's been one of the keys to this Fresno team as it's advanced in the PCL playoffs. Presley, now 30 years of age, 5'10", 195. Been up and down from the minors to the majors the last 3 or 4 years. A rocket shot over second base into center field, and Presley continues what has been an unbelievable postseason. That's 17 hits in the 3 series for the postseason. These are two managers that are no stranger to baseball, folks. Tony DeFrancesco, the manager of the Fresno Grizzlies, a guy who's been around for a long time, and there is Chris Treme, along with his pitching coach right next to him, Tony Arnold. Two guys who have been together most of this year. We'll tell you the Arnold story as tonight continues. And on the other side, DeFrancesco, 21 years of managing in the minor leagues. 17 of those have produced winning seasons. That's a pretty good epitaph.
That's a lot of bus rides and a lot of baseball, no doubt about that.
Here's Tyler White, pretty good bat.
Yeah, he's the hitter of this team, and with Kemp and Presley getting on base during the playoffs, it's been White driving him in. He's probably the most accomplished hitter on both teams.
Pretty accomplished for a guy who was only a 33rd round draft pick, and a guy who came out of Western Carolina. He'll turn 25 the end of October. Not a big guy, 5'11", but a stocky build, 225 pounds.
And you saw Merritt trying to bust him inside at the beginning to get him out away. Comes up back in.
Off the leg of Diaz. That'll kick into foul territory. Rounding second, going all the way to third is Presley. They'll hold him there, and going into second will be White. That's why he's in the lineup. He blisters the ball, and that's a 2-base hit that'll put runners at second and third with only 1 out.
Yeah, the ball really ate up Diaz at third base. It was an inside pitch that was hit down the third base and through the legs of the third baseman. It was why they call it the hot corner. It was really too hot to handle. If it was a double play. But as it turns out, it's second and third. And that composure factor is at center stage in the center of the diamond right now for Merritt.
And here's Big John Singleton. 362 overall. He rips this one to right in his tracks for the second out of the inning. Will make the throw to third. But the run will score. Sacrifice fly for John Singleton gives Fresno an early lead. Something in a 1-game winner-take-all playoff. Bobby, that's what you want to get.
Well, you get that lead. You get the other team a little anxious. You get the other manager a little anxious, knowing that it's the last game. There's no need to save anyone. All hands on deck and start looking at the lineup card to see how you're going to maneuver through this left-handed top of the order. Obviously, they were hoping Merritt was going to neutralize the first 3 of 4 hitters who bat from the left side, but that wasn't the case here in the first inning.
So White goes to third after the sacrifice fly to Choice and Wright, and Choice made it a little closer than you might have thought down at third with the accurate throw. Here's L.J. Hose, a designated hitter for tonight. Hose, 5th batter in this lineup.
Again, in there because the left-handed starter. Hose is a good hitter, but much better against left-handers.
Columbus playing this team straight away. You know, during the year, both of these teams will overshift a lot, and you know the story, Bobby. In AAA baseball, yes, you reflect what your organization does, but you also, in a game like this where you have not a lot of scouting on the team you're playing, there's a bouncer down to short. Gobbled up by Gonzalez, and he throws it away. Eric Gonzalez, who has been nothing short of brilliant at shortstop since coming up, throws this away for an error. He has been just about automatic at short, but this error will cost Columbus a run, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, no need to be so nonchalant. He had time to come over the top a little more. He didn't. He stayed down. The ball went up. Now there's a man on second base, and the keys to the game were composure and defense. And right now Columbus isn't holding up their end of the bargain.
So it looked like the third out ends up putting a runner at second, lets a run score, 2-0, and here's Andrew Alpine, the center fielder, hitting in the 6th spot in the lineup. You get to this stage of a season in any playoffs, composure is a factor, but with so many young players that have made their way up from AA to AAA, it's becoming even more and more critical. And you know the story about Cleveland too. They've had an outstanding run of great middle infielders. Lindor was called up this year. He's playing at Cleveland with the Indians. He's helped give them strong play at shortstop. It's given Gonzalez a chance, and he's played well. Bouncer to short, backhanded, off balance throw will be wide, and it'll probably go as an infield hit. So it'll put runners at first and third, still with outs.
Yeah, but once again, Gonzalez that ball and coming down on his right foot. If he just turns his right foot a little more, he'll be able to get the angle on that throw to first, but he's stepping almost directly at third base when he comes down with his right foot right there, and so he can't come across his body, consequently throws the ball up the line. This is a game that is being judged by metrics today in 2015. We like to see the numbers, and we like to figure out what the guys can do on paper. But when you see guys in big games, you see them with your eyes. That tells you what they're doing when you need the job to get done. And right now, Gonzalez isn't doing the job.
Here's Robbie Grossman, the left fielder, as the 7th batter of this top of the first comes to the plate for the Grizzlies.
Not the kind of start Columbus wanted, but they have some offense, and they've come back many times in the playoffs already, and they like to keep this at 2 and get their offense back in.
These are two teams that are no strangers to comeback. And right now it's pretty clear in the early going this Columbus club is going to have to do exactly that. Grossman with Heineman on deck, the catcher. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hit hard down to third. Good backhand play. Long throw up the line, and another run is going to score. That'll go as a base hit as well, but it allows the 3rd run of the inning to score. You talk about what could go wrong, has gone wrong in this first inning for Columbus, and it has.
It was a real well-hit ball down the line, George. And Yandy Diaz made a real fine backhanded play. But once again, it's all about putting the right foot down and getting it turned so you can get an angle on your throw. His right foot's pointing into the stands. When it comes down, he tries to loosen it up so that he can get around it. It doesn't work, and boy, the inning continues.
So an error by the shortstop and 2 infield hits, combining with a solid base hit to start it all by Presley, and 3 runs on the board already for the Fresno Grizzlies. Here's Heineman, who's caught every inning of the postseason for Fresno. California native. Hit hard down to short. They'll get the out at second, and that'll do it. But 8 come to the plate in the top of the first inning. 3-0. The lead belongs to Fresno. Here's Ryan Merritt talking about what it would mean to win on this day.
The Fresno Grizzlies and Columbus Clippers are the final 2 teams standing in AAA baseball tonight.
Dude, I'm a competitor, so I'm always, I want to win all the time, so it would be awesome to win this game. I'm here to have fun as well. It's going to be fun to pitch in this game, but it'll mean a lot to me.
The 2015 AAA National Championship on NBCSN is being brought to you by Gildan, official national partner of AAA baseball. Gildan, every thread counts. By Jani-King, who cleans your office. For businesses around the world, Jani-King is the most trusted choice. Learn more at janiking.com. By Fred Loya Insurance, being local matters. And by Budweiser, our pastime, our beer. Back in El Paso, ready to go to work. Chris Devinsky loosening up for the first pitch of this bottom of the first inning. Tyler Holt will lead it off for Columbus, already down 3-0 as we go to the bottom of 1. Holt, Gonzalez, and Aguilar here in the bottom of 1. Big burly right-hander. Devinsky, 25 years of age, native of California, grew up in the vicinity of Anaheim, around the Angels territory. Delivers, and this one popped high in the air by Holt. Short center field. There to grab it is Tony Kemp, and there's one away. Let's check your Gildan starting lineup for Columbus. Holt, Gonzalez, and Aguilar. Adam Moore, the big bat and a key behind the plate as a catcher, will hit in the cleanup spot. Yandy Diaz, Michael Choice, Audie Siriaco, James Ranzini, and Anthony Gallus will round out the Columbus Clippers batting order. Here's Gonzalez. As we said, since coming up and taking over at shortstop, he had been prior to tonight very solid defensively, and he's helped this club come together.
You know, there's a lot of distractions in the game of baseball, and sometimes when your bags are packed and you know it's the last game, you start thinking about home. Thinking about other things other than the title at hand, and you know, you get careless. It looked like that's what was happening with Gonzalez.
Well, we talked about it yesterday, talking to Devinsky. He's been working a lot on his changeup, and that changeup is something he uses already here in the first inning. Strikes out Gonzalez, and there's 2 away. That'll bring up Aguilar, the first baseman, a run producer, 25 years of age, was the designated hitter of the year in the International League. Big burly swing, big burly bat, and a guy who's delivered for Columbus all season long. Now, the International League Governors Cup title won by Columbus over Indianapolis. They were heated all season long. During the regular season, Columbus won 11 times. Indianapolis won 10. That's the kind of year that it was. For the Fresno Grizzlies, Grossman, Applin, Presley in the outfield. Gio Meyer is your shortstop. It was scheduled to be Nolan Fontana, but Fontana, who fouled a ball off his foot during Game 5 of the playoff series, had it act up again just prior to the game, so Meyer will get the start at short. 2 balls, 1 strike. He's not afraid to throw that changeup, is he?
You know, he has really good arm speed on it, and he's throwing it from a different angle. We'll talk about it as the game progresses, but I think this is a little different look for most hitters. Yeah, what did he say? It's the change of death?
Yeah, the circle of death.
The circle of death, huh? You know, he has no seams on it, so it must come in like a knuckleball or a spitball and look really weird to the hitter.
This is his 4th career postseason start in the Gildan AAA National Championship game. Spent all of the 2015 regular season at AA, that's Corpus Christi, and 24 appearances there, and 17 of them were starts. What a year for Fresno, but what a year for the Houston organization. 7 minor league teams have made it to the postseason, and there's back-to-back strikeouts. It's a 1-2-3 first. Davinsky using the changeup and using that changeup well. To the second we go.
The El Paso Chihuahuas are proud to partner with Fort Bliss to honor military.
Welcome back to El Paso. What a beautiful night and a sellout crowd here at Southwest University Park. It's in downtown El Paso, and where we are is only a stone's throw away from the Mexican border, just a couple hundred yards behind the ballpark. This, of course, the brand new stadium, 2 years old, and they passed the 1 million mark in attendance after 2 years, increasing attendance from last year, in a year where 42.5 million fans went to minor league baseball stadiums. Bouncer to short, quick flip, it's high, but glove there by Aguilar, and Gonzalez makes that play cleanly
and smoothly. You know, came in, fielded off his left, threw off his right, got the ball up this time instead of down, and made a real fine, easy looking play on a slow hit roller. Here's a ground ball as he charges it. He reaches out with his glove, gets it off the left, steps on his right, makes a nice clean throw.
And back to the top of the order, Tony Kemp, who bounced to second first time up. Now, you talk to people in the Cleveland organization, of course, their general manager, Chris Antonetti. Ross Atkins, the vice president of player development, and everybody up and down this organization believes that Gonzalez is going to be a very special player. Here's Kemp. He bangs this one into center field. So Kemp is 1 for 2, a base hit, and don't be surprised if he's off and running. 33 stolen bases on the year for him, and this is a team that will run a lot. Tony DeFrancesco, the manager down in the third base coach's box, had them steal 157 bases this season. That tied for the PCL lead with Tacoma. So they'll run early and often.
And interestingly, as you mentioned, Altuve at 5'6" and Kemp at 5'6". There's a ball for the first pitch. Are probably the two of the shorter players in the game of baseball, but it's harder to throw strikes to short guys. And if you have a good swing and how to play this game, you could play it without height and play it effectively.
Trying to get a look at the move from Merritt. There's a uncontested flip to first, not really his best move, as Presley steps up. Presley started the rally in the first with 1 out, a solid single to center field.
So left-handed pitchers as well as right-handers will have a package, the different moves that they have. That was just a step off, another step off back, and a quick throw to first. That's to try to keep the runner from getting a comfortable lead. Then he'll come set and he'll bring the leg up and he'll step to first, and then he'll come set and he'll bring the leg up and step to home. And it's up to the guy at first to try to read those moves to get his jump.
From the stretch is Merritt. And the good news is, as a base runner, the more you throw over there, the more you get an idea of that left-hander's move.
Right, and that was part of the package there also, George, where he held the ball. He tried to freeze the runner, and then he was going to pitch to the plate. The runner called timeout.
From the stretch again, the lefty, Merritt. And when you talk about Kemp down at first, here's the way he looks at his role offensively on this club.
He gets you going. He gives you when he gives you the green light, he expects you to go. So you're wreaking havoc on the bases any way you can. He's all about it. And even when we were in college, Tim Corbin talks about 90 feet, how crucial 90 feet is, and it really is. Getting on first base, getting on second, being in scoring position, boom, boom, bunt, over, you're on third with less than 2 outs. It's huge in a game. Every run matters in the playoffs.
Tim Corbin at Vanderbilt, outstanding college coach, and Tony DeFrancesco here, both believe in the running game. A little bit bigger lead. He's going. Throw by Moore. won't be in time, and there's a stolen base for Kemp. He's in scoring position with one out here in the second.
So he saw the entire package, and they determined he didn't have a good move to first. He had the different looks, but not a good leg step to first, so he went on first movement when he lifted his leg and stole it easily.
First pitch swinging. Pressly bangs this into right. Here comes Kemp around third. Here comes the throw to the plate. It will go all the way through, but not in time, and it's almost thrown away on the relay over to first. So Pressly continues a remarkable postseason. 2 more hits, 2 singles, 1 to center, this one to right. Plates the 4th run for Fresno. They lead it 4-0.
Kemp and Pressly, left-handers on left, getting that fastball again. Instead of away, it floats inside. Base hit to right, with Kemp coming around, touching the base with his right foot, taking a little bigger turn than he needs to, but scores easily, even though Michael Choice has a fine arm in right field.
So here's Tyler White. White hit a rocket shot that bounced off the leg of Yandy Diaz in the first inning for a double, and that put runners at second and third for Fresno. Out goes Adam Moore, and boy, if you talk about someone who's impressed Chris Tremme, it's Adam Moore. Moore, the veteran of this ball club, behind the plate. He certainly has been a leader of this pitching staff and a leader on this ball club. White digs in. John Manuel's followed White for a long time. Big John, this kid can hit.
Yeah, he really can. Actually, I was texting with his college coach, Bob Miranda, tonight over at Western Carolina. And he threw a Kevin Youkilis comparison on Tyler White. Wanted to see what Bobby thought of that, because it's a bad body, but a really good hitter with great plate discipline.
There's a big shot towards left center field. It's bounced off the wall. Rounding third, coming to the plate is Pressly. He's going to score. So it'll go as a double for Tyler White. His second double of the ball game, and it's 5-0. The lead comes to Fresno.
I came out early, guys, John, and I watched some of the BP, and Tyler White can hit. I'm not sure if he's as unconventional a look as Youkilis was, but he stands with an open stance. He understands his timing, and there was a pitch that he was just able to drive the left center field very easily, and had Pressly score from first on the double off the wall.
Pressly can motor. You can see it here. He's got 15 stolen bases, and in addition to that, he runs the bases exceptionally well. So Pressly scampers home, 5-0.
And you got to see one guy touch the base with his right foot coming around third, one touched with his left foot, one cutting it sharper than the other, and both of them scoring very easily.
That's a pitching coach, Tony Arnold. Arnold did not start the year as the Columbus pitching coach. Those of you that have been close to baseball will remember that it was Carl Willis who was the pitching coach for Chris Tremme, but when the Red Sox made a pitching coach change, John Farrell went back to his old friend Carl Willis. He went to Boston. Tim Belcher came in for a while. Charlie Nagy came in for a while, and Tony Arnold came up from Lynchburg to take over. Here's Singleton. Sacrifice fly, plated the first run back in the first inning. You talk about base running, Bobby, and speed is one thing, but knowing how to run the base is probably more important when you get to the major league level.
Oh, exactly. Not everyone could be a good base stealer, but everyone could be a good base runner, and it just takes discipline and concentration.
Big swing by Singleton.
And I was really impressed with Tony Kemp getting it, understanding about 90 feet, not only from Tim Corbin, but also from his professional coaching, that, you know, if he's going to be a run maker, he's going to have to be efficient on the bases, and he gets it.
Singleton digs in. Breaking ball down and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the big first baseman for Fresno. Another great year for Grizzly baseball. Fresno had an outstanding attendance year. That's a shot right at the shortstop, though. Playing in the perfect position is Gonzalez, and there's your second out of the inning. 42.5 million fans attended minor league baseball. Over 14 million attended AAA baseball. So a banner year once again. 11 straight years of 42 million plus, of over 40 million. And congratulations to Pat O'Connor, the president of minor league baseball. There's a pop up to the right side. Who's going to take charge? The second baseman Audie Siriaco does, but they play add-on for the Grizzlies. It's 5-0. Fresno leads it heading to the bottom of 2.
Welcome to the 2015 Gildan AAA Baseball National Championship game and to this beautiful new stadium in El Paso. I'm Rob Packard, Vice President of Marketing for Gildan USA, makers of your favorite t-shirts, underwear, and socks, and national sponsor of AAA Baseball. Gildan is proud to support events that create special family memories, a sentiment shared by AAA teams across the country. Whether at the ballpark or just spending time with family and friends, Gildan is worn by baseball fans everywhere. Good luck to both teams and enjoy the game.
And he certainly is correct. Great to have Gildan as a long-term partner with minor league baseball and AAA baseball, and great to have the fans who have turned out tremendously here. It's a sellout crowd, standing room only for tonight's ball game as Adam Moore steps to the plate. Moore playing for Columbus right now, but he did play here in El Paso, and he talked before the game about how impressive the fans are here, and we've seen it the last couple of days, haven't we, Bobby?
No doubt about it, George. And you know, there's no rooting interest here. These are just baseball fans. The home team is not playing.
Hit hard down to first, grabbed by Singleton. He doesn't give up on it, and they get the out. Good job by Singleton. It looked like it hit the right off his wrist, not even off the glove, but he does a good job, and Davinsky covers for the first out of the second.
Yeah, they like to say that ball ate him up. It hit off the edge of the grass and came up, hit him right there in the wrist, but he stays with it, playing well off the line. Good defensive positioning and nice covering of first by Davinsky.
There's Yandy Diaz, the third baseman. Diaz, 24 years of age, out of Cuba, 6'2", 185. A year ago, Rusney Castillo was the player out of Cuba that had just made his way to the AAA level. He hit a homer in this game and also, of course, made his way to the major league level, and he's in the outfield for the Red Sox this year. There's a fly ball to center. Diaz skies to Applin, and there's 2 away. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Michael Choice.
George, just getting back to the crowd and to credit this fine city here in America, where I was up on the hills today and I could look one way and see Mexico, look the other way and see New Mexico, and it's here in Texas. And they tore down the town hall and they built a beautiful baseball monument, and the people love it here. They're here to watch baseball, not to root for their team, but to root for baseball. It's a wonderful thing to see.
Down to third, White has it, and they'll get another 1-2-3. So Davinsky 6 up and 6 down. He's got a 5-0 lead. We'll chat with the governor when we return. Back in El Paso, ready to go to the top of the third inning. Applin, Grossman, and Heineman due up, and a new pitcher for Chris Tremian. The Clippers. Tyler Sturdivant will get the ball. Sturdivant began the year on the suspended list, finally made his season debut in June at Durham, and has worked out of the bullpen here with the Columbus Clippers. Bobby?
Yeah, big right-hander, throws from that third base side of the rubber. It didn't work with the left-hander against his left-handed hitting lineup, so let's see if some sinker balls from a right-hander will slow him down a little. Leon Roberts, hitting coach for Houston's AAA team here, has done a fabulous job with their guys swinging the bat, and let's see how they approach this new right-hander.
Here's Applin, the center fielder, ready to lead it off. So Ryan Merritt's numbers: 43 pitches, 2 innings, 5 runs, 6 hits, no strikeouts, no walks. Fresno with a 5-0 lead early. Applin singled into the hole at short in the first inning, part of a rally that produced 3 runs in the first for Fresno. Little giddy up on that fastball. Chad Whitson is your home plate umpire for tonight. Anthony Johnson is at first. Seth Buckmeister is your second base umpire, and Colin Klein is over at third in this umpiring rotation.
Yeah, 3 fastballs in a row, trying to get that sinker on the outside corner to see if the left-handers will roll over, but they're not. Fish aren't biting. 3-0, and that's not where you want to be coming out of the bullpen for your first hitter.
3-0. That's ball 4. John Manuel sitting with the governor. Big John.
Here with Governor Greg Abbott of the state of Texas. Governor, just your impression of this setting here in El Paso. You got great weather. I'll give you credit for bringing the weather, but a great setting here tonight.
The setting could not be better. Look at the mountain, the buildings, the beautiful city of El Paso in our background. I'm so proud of what the Chihuahuas have done.
Yeah, and I think you have to be proud of what they've done in the big leagues this year with Texas and Houston, your 2 Texas-based teams. You got to pick one in the American League West. Put you on the spot. Who you picking here down the stretch, Rangers or Astros?
Well, I am so excited because they're both battling for the championship, and I am picking the team from Texas to go all the way.
Diplomatic, political answer from the governor, guys.
Good stuff, Governor. A joy to be around. He loves the game of baseball and very popular down and around town, around the ballpark today. Faith, family, and freedom. That's the way he views the world. That's a pitch in the dirt. Good block by Adam Moore after the walk to the leadoff hitter, Applin.
Obviously, George W. Bush is also an ex-governor of Texas who loves the game of baseball. I was honored to have him give a little tribute to me on a roast the other night, and he looks great.
He's enjoying life after the White House, and of course he was the owner of the Texas Rangers when you were the manager of the Texas Rangers.
Indeed, and there was a while there where he said the biggest mistake he ever made was trading Sammy Sosa and firing me, but I guess things escalated a little in his life after that.
And I'm sure if you asked him, he'd say the same question. He'll root for the team from Texas.
You bet he will.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Robbie Grossman, the left fielder. Grossman reached on an infield hit. Short lead down at first for Applin. Runner not going. Pitches wide. Kicks off the glove of Moore and goes all the way to the backstop. So no stolen base here. That'll be a pass ball that'll allow the runner to go to second.
Sinker that didn't sink, stayed up, and Moore thought it was going to come down a little more, hit off the top of his glove and back to the backstop. It was coming down. It actually ate him up a little, hit off his thumb. That hurts.
So a runner at second, no one out, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes to Grossman. Hit hard down to first. That's a fair ball. They'll flip it to first, and the pitcher covering, they just do get him. Sturdivant late to get there, but he finally got the foot on the bag, and there's 1 away. Runner goes to third. Hey, don't forget Saturday morning, if you're up for football, league leading Manchester City, they head to London for a clash with Tottenham. Premier League weekend coverage begins Saturday morning at 7 on NBCSN.
And that's when you go south of the border that it's football, right?
Football. We're not far from the border here. You turn around and look out the back of the press box, and it's a couple 100 yards away. Big swing and a miss from the catcher, Tyler Heineman. Heineman bounced to second to end the first inning.
And we might want to say that Grossman did a fine job. Even though the score is 5-0, it's only the 3rd inning. Man on second, nobody out. He took a sinker on the outside and pulled it down the first baseline. Almost got a double, but got the runner over to third. More pressure.
From the stretch is Sturdivant. Runner at third, infield halfway. At second and short, in tied at first and third. No balls, 2 strikes. From the stretch is Sturdivant. That's down low. And it's 1-2. There was a strength to this team during the regular season. It was starting pitching. They've had their problems in the bullpen. The closer for this Columbus team is Carlos Marmol, the former Chicago Cub closer. That's a shot down the right field line, but foul. You know, Bobby, you talk to DeFrancesco and you talk to Tremie, even at the minor league level, we're in an era now. I mean, you remember when you came up, you look for somebody in middle relief that might be a sinker baller, a little change up here or there, but now people are bringing 95 in as soon as the starter leaves, from all the way down to bringing in 100 in the 9th inning.
Yeah, George, that's if I could remember when I came up. I mean, that's a little too long ago. Maybe when you came up, that's what they were doing.
From the stretch, Sturdivant blooped into center. That will drop for a hit and produce another run. So Heineman, good job of hitting on the 1-2 pitch. Delivers a base hit to center, and it's now 6-0 the Fresno Grizzlies.
Yeah, I guess that's a bad job of pitching with 2 strikes and a good job of just making contact with the infield in. Balls down and away, stay with it and reach out and look at it in the scorebook. RBI, base hit. Boy, things are going really good for Fresno.
When you came up at AAA, you were in Spokane. That was a Dodger farm team then. MVP for them back in late 60s and 70s. You were an MVP back-to-back years, Ogden and then in Spokane.
Wow, you did your homework, George. I'm always impressed with the stuff that you do, and I appreciate you saying that. But you know that 1970
I'm just reading what you gave me to read.
That's right, I gave you that. That's right. But Tommy Lasorda was the manager of that. I said in the opening, today's his 88th birthday. We want to remember Tommy, and remember in our prayers, his brother Eddie passed away today. One of the great members of the Lasorda family. But Lasorda did manage that team. It was 1970. A lot of people say, these historians who count the number of games that people play in the major leagues, that team has the most games of played in the major leagues of any minor league team ever assembled.
Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And of course, that was the genesis of what were the great Dodger teams of the 70s.
Yes, with Garvey and Say and Lopes, Russell, Charlie Huff. The list went on. Tommy Paciorek. I look at the lineup here and I see a 300 hitter on each team. Tommy Paciorek had it hit 300 3 years in a row, have 100 RBIs 4 years in a row before he got a call to the major leagues with the Dodgers back in the early 70s.
Remember this shot? There's Tommy on the left. And there's Bobby right next to him. Remember that?
Oh, that's a good one. That's Garvey, Buckner, Tommy Hutton, and Bobby O'Brien, a left-hander who pitched for Baltimore and the Dodgers. Yeah, that's some group there. Nice shot. I don't have that one.
We'll get it for you.
Thank you very much.
This one hit deep to left. Going back on his horse, looking up. It will be 1 hop off the wall. Rounding first, going to second, and staying there. The ball kicks around. They're going to call it a ground rule double. It went over the top and back again.
There's a yellow line out there. It hit the fence and came back, so it is a 2-base ground rule. Ball hit really sharply, and we might have to see another pitching change here before this game gets completely out of control.
Not exactly the way Chris Tremie wanted to dial up the start of this game. So 2nd and 3rd. Still only 1 out, 6-0. The lead belongs to Fresno. And while the pitching change takes place, we'll take time out for these messages. You're watching the Gildan National Championship game on NBCSN. From the shadow of the Mexican border, welcome to the Gildan AAA National Championship game. Fresno leads Columbus 6-0. New pitcher coming in, but before we get to that, let's go back down to John Manuel and Randy Mobley.
Yeah, I'm here with the president of the International League, Randy Mobley. And Randy, a lot of attention on AAA this year with the pitch clocks, how they work, and what kind of effect are they here to stay?
Well, I think they probably are here to stay. We had tremendous success with the pitch clocks this year. The games had begun to drag a little bit, We were not being as efficient with our time as we probably should have been. Major League Baseball put the pitch clocks in all of the AAA and AA ballparks. At the AAA level, we've cut between 12 and 16 minutes off of game times. AA's have had much the same success.
That's impressive. Now, also impressive minor league baseball, just the growth over your time in minor league baseball. Is the minor league boom over? Is it a more of a mature product right now, or is there still a chance for real growth in minor league attendance?
Well, I think there is still room for growth, but we've benefited so significantly from the new ballparks, and this ballpark here tonight is just such a great example. But there are still a few ballparks yet to be built, so I expect that the attendance will continue to increase. 42.5 million fans over all of minor league baseball this year. Fans across the country continue to enjoy minor league baseball.
I'll say it since you won. Let's get a new ballpark in Bakersfield, guys. Back to you, George.
Thanks, John, and thanks, Randy. Our thanks to Randy Mobley and Chris Sprague from the International League, Branch Rickey and Dwight Hall from the PCL. They always do such a tremendous job. And you know, you're right, Bobby, as Molikin goes to the stretch here after the ground out to second. You know, you take a look at these parks. When you played, talking about Ogden and Spokane, the parks were a whole lot different than they are today. One beautiful park after another, and now all these AAA parks and the minor leagues have that clock to deal with.
Yeah, and I like the clock. I think we should have a clock in our own mind and understand that the people aren't paying to see you walk around the mound or fix your belt or tuck your shirt in. They're here to see action, and I think the more action we can show them, the more they'll come back and see it again.
And really, at the major league level and the minor league level, there have been very few incidents surrounding the use of the clock. It's worked for the first year. It's worked pretty seamlessly.
I think it's worked really well. Now what we have to do is get away from all the trips to the mounds, the catcher's trips and the coaching trips and all that stuff where, you know, stuff goes on out on the mound and keeps everyone in the dark who's paid their money to sit in the stands. Either mic up those conversations or eliminate them, because that would really help speed up the game also. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Presley, who's 2 for 2, a single in the first and a single that knocked in a run in the second. That's wide. If you were managing today, would you manage different knowing that? I mean, you used the bullpen, you made a lot of trips, made a lot of changes. Would you manage differently today? Yeah, probably. I did make many trips, actually, George. Matter of fact, most of the years I let my pitching coach even take the pitcher out of the game. But you know, I tried to limit him. One of the things that drove me crazy my entire career, I tried to stop it before the pitch clock was initiated, was the catcher going to the mound as often as he did. And what would often happen is a pitcher would come in from the bullpen. I'd be there, or the pitching coach would be there to hand the ball to him. The catcher would be there with him. He'd go back and warm him up for 8 pitches, and after he warmed him up, he'd go back out to the mound to let him know what signs they were using with the man on second. I said to Piazza, I said, Mike, why do you have to do that? We were just at the mound. Tell them what sign they're using when we're all together at the mound. And he invariably would say, the pitchers forget, and 8 pitches later, I've got to go back out to remind them. Usually he was right. No, I don't know if he was right. But he never wanted to get crossed up, that's for sure. So, you know, we have signs from the third base coach. I think all that communication can be done with sign language. We don't need to verbalize as much as we do in the game. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Presley. Runner on second. Runner off third leads as well. Second and third for the Fresno Grizzlies, who already lead at 6-0. George Grant, Bobby Valentine, John Manuel here in El Paso, Texas, at Southwest University Park. Usually home of the Chihuahuas, but today it's the home of all of minor league baseball in the AAA championship game, sponsored by Gildan. Big right-hander delivers. That's down and in. So it's full 3 balls and 2 strikes. And you know, all these guys are one step away. They know they've climbed the ladder. They've gone through Little League. They've gone through their youth leagues, high school, college, the minor leagues, and now they're here one step away from the major leagues, and they can feel it. Line right at the shortstop again. Hit right on the button, but nothing to show for it. Presley retired. What would a win today mean for Tony Kemp, the Vanderbilt product?
you get to this point, you want to win for sure, but you know, if we don't win, you have to look at the past accomplishments of what we've done as a team this year, and you just have to smile and have fun, and you know, that's the only way you're going to be able to play this game. I mean, sometimes you get caught up in it as, you know, some guys see it as a job, but you know, you just got to go out there and have fun and put a big smile on your face.
Back in El Paso, 6 up, 6 down for Chris Devenski. He's got a 6-0 lead. We asked him about his pitch repertoire.
Okay, this is my 4-seam fastball right here. I also throw a 2-seam fastball. Here's the changeup right here. I don't know if this is appropriate to say, but a lot of guys have nicknamed this pitch, and it's nicknamed the Circle of Death. And then here's my curveball, my spike curveball right here. And then I throw a split, but not as much as I have in the past.
The 25-year-old right-hander, just a joy to be around. He wanted to say hi to his dad and 2 brothers who are back in California watching, and thanks so much to his family who have meant so much to him in his development. Grew up in California, and no, he was a Yankee fan growing up, not a Dodger fan or a Anaheim fan, but boy, that changeup is something else, Bobby.
Yeah, it's a really good pitch. You notice he has no seams on the grip, and so that ball comes out of his hand in a real funky manner. Tom Robson, my old hitting coach, who threw 1 million pitches in batting practice, and there's a pop-up that looks like it'll be easily caught. While warming up, Tom Robson used to throw a pitch, grip that in that similar fashion, and some guys couldn't even catch it, never mind hit it. It slides sometimes. It gives that appearance of what a spitball used to do, and many pitchers threw a spitball without touching any of the seams. So this is causing havoc, no doubt, with the Columbus hitters tonight.
Audie Siriakos flies out to center. His Alpen gloves at, and here's James Ramsey, the outfielder, 25 years of age. Steps in.
You know, different pitchers, George, try to maneuver that 60 feet that the ball is going in different fashions. And Devenski pitches from the first base side of the rubber and then steps open. That in itself is very unique. It's about his stuff, not about his deception out at the mound. He has pitches that really look different to the hitter because of the angle that they're coming in on and because of the way they're rotating on the way to the plate.
Big burly young man who grew up playing short. In fact, he reminds you of another Cal State Fullerton product. That's Michael Lorenzen, who's now pitching with the Cincinnati Reds. Each of them fine position players, but both of them turned to pitching. Lorenzen now a starter with the Reds, and Devenski a starter here. You could tell, and even talking to him yesterday, this is a young man that's kind of bulletproof. I don't think the big stage is bothering him at all.
No, had a great year at Double-A, and they said he had a pitch limit of 70 pitches. We'll see what comes first, a hit from Columbus or 70 pitches. I dare say it better be the hit.
In on the hands, pop back and out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ramsey with Gallus on deck.
Yeah, that 89-mile-an-hour fastball right now looks about 97 because of his repertoire, because he's throwing it from that first base side in an open step. Really unique. But the changeup is the circle of death.
R.I.P. 3 strikeouts for Devenski. 8 up, 8 down, and here's Gallus. You know, while we were sitting, and you and I were talking earlier about old-time baseball and new-time baseball, and he said, you know, somebody mentioned to me once, and I don't know who the pitcher was, but they talked about the old adage that hitting is timing and pitching is disrupting timing. And when we mentioned to him, that was the great Warren Spahn of 363 major league victories. The game hadn't changed, even though some of the specifics have changed. What Spahny did then still works today.
Oh, without a doubt. That's the game within the game. What the pitcher does to get the hitter out. And there's a lot of spin that is being tracked and rotation that is being tracked. But it really is easy to see how a hitter reacts to different pitchers.
And while Spahny's no longer with us on this Fresno team. There's a foul ball off to the right side. A guy who was scheduled to start at shortstop, Nolan Fontana, didn't because his foot was aching a little bit after fouling a ball off it. Fontana, the grandson of the great Lou Burdett, one of Sponny's great teammates in those Milwaukee years. Dribbler in front of the plate. Davinsky has it. And how about that? 9 up, 9 down. Something special going on for Chris Davinsky. Something special going on for Fresno so far. They lead it 6-0 as we head to the 4th. The 2015 AAA National Championship on NBCSN is being brought to you by Gildan, official national partner of AAA baseball. Gildan, every thread counts. And by Budweiser, our pastime, our beer. Picture perfect night for baseball here in downtown El Paso. Southwest University Park, a great baseball tradition here at El Paso over the years. Many years in minor league baseball, and certainly that's continued here as a member of the San Diego organization. These two organizations playing tonight. Fresno, member of the Houston organization, and the Astros have 7 postseason teams this year. And of course, the Columbus Clippers partnering with the Cleveland Indians organization. There's Tyler White. Reached on a double down the third base line off the leg of the third baseman Yandy Diaz, and then hit a double off the wall in the 2nd inning to knock in the 5th run. Dustin Molikin in his 2nd inning of work. This one hit pretty good. Left field, looking back, looking up at the wall. It's going to be caught, gloved right at the wall. You said it sounds a little bit different when it's off his bat. It sure does, doesn't it?
You know, that was a tough pitch too that he almost hit out of the ballpark. I like the way the kid swings. I like his presence at the plate, and I think we're going to see him for a while. He has that little situation where the knob of the bat points at the head of the catcher, and then he just swings through the ball with a very slight uppercut, but a very good swing. Firm on the front side, off of the back side, does everything you want a good hitter to do.
Robbie Grossman tracks it down at the warning track. Now, the old ballparks here, you always, back in the old days, you talked about how the ball used to fly out of them. This place plays fair.
Yeah, that's fair. That ball stayed in the ballpark. I think in the old ballpark here, AA ballpark here, that would have been long gone.
And you come here, you think of the great general manager is here for so many years, Jimmy Paul, who was a great leader in the game of baseball here in El Paso, and of course, and a guy that you and I knew, Teddy Giannolis, of course, got his start with Jimmy as the San Diego Chicken here.
Had Del Crandall come through here, waiting for Tommy Lasorda to move to the big league so he could get the AAA.
Wrapped up. Does Grossman get a glove on it? He does. Wow, that just kept sailing. Looks like he looked up, maybe lost it in the lights a bit, but then finally got a glove on it, and Singleton is retired for the 2nd out.
One of those little lessons learned. Whenever a ball goes up towards the line, it always comes back down toward the middle of the field. So he's running toward the left field line as that ball's going up, and then he says, what, time to stop and make a U-turn. Had to come back as that ball was coming down, spinning toward the middle of the field.
Nice job of hanging with it. 2 away. And here's L.J. Hose. Reached on an error that knocked in a run and popped out to 2nd. Molikin from the stretch, and that's fouled off. And you mentioned Del Crandall, and we want to say congratulations, because Del this year was one of those inducted in the PCL Hall of Fame. An outstanding manager, and speaking of those old Milwaukee teams of the 50s, Del was a leader there. Gaylord Perry also inducted in the PCL Hall of Fame, and Lou Novikov, longtime contributor as well. And while we're saying, let's congratulate Mark Bombard, who got into the International Hall of Fame this year. Marshall Brandt. And Dan Labruzzo from Buffalo GM for many years. Look out. That flagged him down on the Fresno side. Hey, those are our guys down here. Look out.
They usually call that an ugly finder. Guy who gets hit has an ugly mark all over his body, that's for sure.
One ball, two strikes. Malikin from the stretch. Bounce to short. Sidearm flip from the shortstop Eric Gonzalez. That does it. It's the first 1-2-3 inning for Columbus pitching, and that's what they needed. 9 up, 9 down so far. Let's keep it right here. Let's go to PA announcer Ray Addado for the Gildan Pitch Contest.
Rapid fire pitching game presented by Gildan. Take it away, Andy.
Thank you very much, Ray fans. I'm Andy Infeld down here with Giuliano, our contestant tonight. He was the lucky winner of the Gildan Hometown Favorites NBC 9 sweepstakes, sponsored by KTSN News Channel 9 and Gildan, maker of your favorite activewear, underwear, and socks. Now, Giuliano's got a chance to win $100,000. The rules are simple. We're start right here. He's going to be given 30 seconds to throw as many baseballs through that hole. If he gets 8, he wins $1,000. If he gets 9, he gets $10,000. If he gets 10, he gets $100,000. Guys, let's give it up for Giuliano and get this game started. Ready, set, go! Fans, come on, get loud and cheer Giuliano on! We got 15 seconds, 15 seconds left. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, everyone give up for Giuliano today. He did great, right? Now, I would like to introduce Keith Whitaker, Director of Marketing from Gildan, for the check presentation. Fans, how about one more round of applause for Giuliano?
Bobby, does that mean Giuliano owes that money?
Those are the checks that you usually give me, George, you know, the ones that have my name on it, your name on it, and no money.
We got it. We got it. What a fun ballpark and a fun night here in El Paso.
Absolutely spectacular place for baseball, and I'm proud and happy to be here, and everybody associated with this franchise should be just as proud. It looks fabulous here tonight.
And don't forget, this Saturday, the Minutemen look to break through the tenacious defense of the Fighting Irish. UMass, Notre Dame. Coverage begins Saturday at 3 o'clock Eastern on NBCSN, followed by the game at 3:30 on NBC. And a link here to Notre Dame as well. Pat Murphy used to be the Notre Dame baseball coach. Murphy was the manager here until he was called up to manage in San Diego. We've spent a lot of time talking baseball with him over the years, Bobby.
Murph's doing a pretty good job in San Diego, and you know, the Astros are doing a really good job here and in Astroland, and I think the Ryan boys deserve a little credit for that also.
Reese Ryan and Round Rock. Round Rock lost to Fresno in the PCL championships, and of course Nolan still, you talk about in your years in Texas, you had him around there a lot, and Tom House, your pitching coach, helped author a book with him, and of course you made him so much a welcome part, and he made everybody welcome to the game of baseball every place he's been.
Well, he was in Houston. We got him from Houston with the Texas Rangers, and Mike Stone, our president, said, Nolan, you have to sign with us because you're Texas treasure, and we can't be the ones responsible for a treasure leaving. and he signed. He pitches 6 no-hitters, 7 no-hitters, 5,000 strikeout, his 300th win, all in a Texas Ranger uniform. I was happy that I was able to watch that up close and personal, and I'm really happy for his family's success here in baseball.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Talk about both ends of the spectrum. You had him throwing near 100, and you had Charlie Huff throwing his knuckleball.
Think about it. They still hit the other guys in the rotation. I can't figure that out. Charlie Huff, one of the greatest all-timers.
Two balls, two strikes. On the corner, he does it again. 4 strikeouts for Davinsky. Here's his mechanics.
So remember, he's way over on the first base side of the rubber, and that is a real open step. That means he steps more toward first base than he does toward third base. You'll see it open here, and then he shoots the ball as it goes toward the plate, away from the left-hander and into the right-hander, and throws those off-speed pitches away. You know, they're seeing him for the first time, and they are totally baffled.
1 away, 4 strikeouts. Here's the shortstop, Eric Gonzalez. That's rifled down the left field line, but foul. And at this young age, at 25, as a starter, throwing the changeup as often as he has, not just in this start, but in some of his others, you're going to learn it a lot faster, too.
I think he's learning by the way the hitters are trying to swing at it, trying to hit it. And there, you know, he opens up even a little more when he throws his fastball. And that must just dart in on the right-hander. You saw how quickly it got in on Gonzalez. He was late with his swing, an emergency swing at that. And now he's just going to go away with that off-speed pitch and probably get a weak ground ball or a swing and a miss.
45th pitch of the night. 0-2. Ouch.
I lied. He stepped to first and threw another one of those fastballs inside on his hands. And Gonzalez, the ball could have hit him in his chest the way it was bearing in on him. But instead he swung and hit it off his fingers.
Hey, he's having fun out there tonight, too, isn't he?
Well, he's competing. You know, he's not just throwing. He's out there competing with the hitter. He knows what he has, and he's telling the hitter, you got to figure this out, and as you're figuring it out, I'm going to figure out what not to throw while you're thinking. And I really like what I see. He seems like a real competitor who understands who and what he is. Well, nice changeup away.
Here's Aguilar, who struck out first time up. 2 away in the 4th. 11 up, 11 down for the Columbus Clippers.
That was one of the first times he's thrown a fastball away. And Aguilar saying, geez, I haven't seen that one yet either. Now, what is it throwing? You see, he looks befuddled at the plate. He really doesn't look confident in his approach.
In the hole, backhand, double pump in the dirt, but scoop. Great job by Singleton at the other end. Keep it rolling. 9 up, 9 down heading into the inning. Add 3 more to that. 12 up and 12 down for Davinsky. 6-0. The lead belongs to Fresno.
I'm John Manuel back here in El Paso, AAA National Championship game with Chris Trevi, manager of Columbus. Chris, obviously not how you guys scripted things out. What has to change over the next 4 or 5 innings for you guys?
Well, you just got to get something going offensively. You're playing. We come back a lot, so it's not over yet. We got to get some guys on base and get started.
Has Davinsky's changeup really been the determining factor so far?
Yeah, pretty good breaking ball changeup, kind of changing speed, and you know, he's throwing the ball well. We got to find a way to you know, get someone on base and get going.
Thank you very much, Skip. Back to you guys.
Thanks, John. Chris Tremi knows full well, Bobby. And there's a line shot down the third base line. That's going to head into the corner. Rounding first, going to second is Andrew Alpin, the center fielder. He's got 2 hits, 2 for 2, and a walk. So a leadoff double to start things off in the 5th against the new pitcher for Chris Tremi, and that's Nick Mirande. Tremi, of course, a catcher in his own right, 14 years in the major leagues, came up with the White Sox organization and finally ended with Houston. So as a catcher, he's seeing something that he's seen a lot of.
Yeah, and you don't want to see any more of it. Not only are they hitting it hard, but they're hitting them where they ain't. And sometimes you just say, boy, it's not our night when it's going like that.
There's Robbie Grossman. Grossman reached on an infield hit that knocked in the 3rd run in the 1st inning, and he bounced to first the 2nd time up, 1 for 2. Heineman, the catcher, on deck. 6 runs, 10 hits for Fresno. Zip, zip for the Clippers so far.
Got to ring that bell, you Columbus Clippers.
Ken Schnocky knows that well, doesn't he?
He knows it. So does the great Dave Rosenfield, who's at home watching this game on TV tonight. David, we hope you're feeling better. We love you. The great president, general manager of the Norfolk Tides over the last 4 decades or so. And all our thoughts are with you, big guy.
Wish to see you soon, Big Dave. Maybe at the winter meetings. Good health to you. And speaking of legendary general managers and people in ownership, our best to Max Schumacher as well. Max, Indianapolis Indians drew over 660,000 fans again this year. They came 1 game short of getting here. Always a tremendous organization run in Indianapolis by Max Schumacher. And congratulations to Mike Tamburo. Mike, of course, a long time, and he's a member of the Hall of Fame in the International League from Pawtucket. With the changes that have gone on with the ownership changes in Pawtucket, Mike taking a back seat, but boy, he's been at the top of the list of those that have made innovations in AAA baseball.
Without a doubt. And if you take the back seat to a guy like Larry Lucchino, it's going to be a pleasant ride. So it sounds out like it's one big family out there. If you're listening and you're watching this ball game, it is. Baseball, minor league baseball, Major League Baseball is all one of the biggest, most friendly families in the world.
Here's Heineman, bounced out and singled in the 6th run back in the 3rd inning. 2 on, nobody out against Morandi.
Columbus needs a ground ball in the worst way here, and Morandi has that 2-seamer that he might be able to get the catcher here, Heineman, to roll over and hit a grounder to short.
Double play depth, middle of the infield. Well, as both managers said, this is a game 5 or a game 7, whether it's a 5-game playoff or a 7-game playoff. So everything, you empty your bullpen on a night like this. This is a winner-take-all championship, the Gildan National Championship game, and both Tony DeFrancesco and Chris Tremi have said they'll go early and often. DeFrancesco hasn't had to worry about it so far, but Tremi already has dipped into his 4th pitcher tonight. Bounce down to second. Can they turn 2, 4, 6 on to first? The double play 3.
Just what the doctor ordered. Keep Columbus in this game. Yeah, rather than that 2-seamer in, he threw a cutter. I mean, 2-seamer away. It looked like he might have thrown a cutter that provided the double play that was so dearly needed.
There's the young shortstop, Gio Meyer, who came in when Fontana could not answer the bell with a foot injury and who doubled his last time up. 1 for 2 is Gio.
Gio just called up. Let's see what you got. Giovanni, that's short for.
And it's lined into right. How about this? 2 good swings from the young shortstop. That base hit plates another run, and it's 7-0. The lead belongs to Fresno.
That was really well struck, as was his double to left center field the time before. Before the game, we were wondering what he had. His group was wondering if he'd have some jitters playing in the AAA game for the first time, and it looks like there's no jitters at all, and he's a baseball player.
First pitch swinging is Kemp. This one's skied into left center. Holt under it, and he's got it, but the leadoff double got things rolling by Applin. 7-0. The lead belongs to Fresno.
John Manuel back here in El Paso with Tony DeFrancesco, manager of Fresno. Tony, first 15 plays went just as scripted, I guess, right?
It did. Textbook baseball right there. The guys are playing the game right, playing aggressive. A couple of big hits by White and Gio Meyer, but Chris Davinsky's been no-hitting these guys right now, and that's a great team over there. So we're real proud of our guys here. We love El Paso coming here. But first I want to say hello to my son Anthony with his buddies down in Arizona. my daughter Genevieve, so they're watching the game at Echo 5, so we're excited to be on TV for them.
See what a 7-0 lead can do for you guys. It could relax you a little bit, Tony. Enjoy the rest of the game. Good luck. Thanks.
You're right, John. That's the way he is all the time. Tony DeFrancesco, 21 years managing in the minor leagues. 17 of those years have produced winning records. That's the kind of success he's had. Native of the Bronx. When I went down to talk to him right before the game, he was on the phone with his son Anthony, talking to his son and his daughter just to get the pregame pep talk from them. And Bobby, you know what that's like. It adds a little pep to your step before a big game, doesn't it?
Yeah, the phone call is one thing. For them to be live is another. And Tony, I know he's shared many a moment with his family, and hopefully he'll have many a moment to come, because he's one of the true class acts in the game of baseball.
Did get a brief chance to manage on an interim basis in Houston, and yeah, you talked to him. He said, I want to do it again. And somewhere along the road, he's hopeful that that opportunity will come. Meanwhile, he's watching his big right-hander be magnificent on this night. Nothing to show for the night offensively for the Columbus Clippers. Here's Adam Moore, bounced to first, his first time up. Diaz and Choice due to follow. Gloved by Singleton, and Davinsky does his job, gets there perfectly. We've been talking a lot about Davinsky and his changeup. He talked about his growth as an athlete and his growth as a pitcher. We asked him how he refined that changeup. How did he learn it?
It was something I always played with, and I just always had a feel for it. You know, it was fun throwing this pitch. You know, I'd throw it like a fastball, and it would just, you know, the arm speed and the action on it was great. And when I ended up going to Cal State Fullerton, there was another guy, Noe Ramirez, who's with the Red Sox. Really, really good changeup. I mean, he would get guys to swing at it, you know, 5 feet in front of the plate. And with him and Chris Medlin and, you know, the coach at Fullerton, Dave Serrano, you know, something just came together with that pitch, and I just kept working on it. It was something I really wanted to master, was a changeup, because I knew it was one of the best pitches in the game, and it just came together.
Well put for that 25-year-old, huh?
Voila, giving people credit and understanding that it was a pitch that could make him have professional hitters look bad, and he continues to throw it. This is an 88-mile-an-hour fastball mixed in with that changeup. His curveball, you know, he said it's that spiked knuckle curve where he takes his pointer finger and he puts his knuckle on the ball so that the pointer finger doesn't drag as the middle finger is pulling down on the curveball. He has pretty good rotation on that, and right now it's all working for him.
Diaz hit that ball right on the button, but right at the second baseman, 2 away, way out in front. The changeup gets him again. That's strikeout number 5. How about this? 5 innings of baseball. Chris Davinsky has been untouchable. Today's coverage of the Gildan AAA National Championship game is being broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network. We welcome the men and women of the U.S. Armed Forces stationed around the globe in more than 170 countries and on the high seas. So proud to have them with us. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. And there's one veteran that certainly enjoyed this broadcast, returning Army member, Chief Warrant Officer Cameron Timber. His wife Alyssa and his daughter, who was born when he was away, they surprised them when he stood out at second base. Bobby, what a great moment. We've seen so many of these, and what a special moment that was for the family.
I can't see enough of them. I love when families are reunited. And here's a bloop. That's caught. And those who serve our country are shown the appreciation from the people who live here and benefit from their sacrifice.
Robbie Grossman hauls that in. Presley is retired. Presley, 2 more hits to go along with the 16 that he had coming into today in postseason play. There's 1 away here in the 6th inning, and here's Tyler White.
I think some things really off speed with Tyler White might be the only way you're going to get him off stride. Hard stuff up, and then off-speed stuff, and really the slowest pitch you have.
Big swing, and it's Foul to the left side. New pitcher for the Columbus Clippers is Jeff Johnson, 25-year-old right-hander. He was a closer down at Akron, and they have high hopes for him, not just at the AAA level, but heading to the major leagues as well. 6 foot, 185 pounds. Gives you a little bit of look at the Wild thing, huh? That's a swing and a miss, 2 away.
Real big leg kick and 3 off-speed pitches seem to be the kryptonite for Tyler White.
And don't forget, the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup playoffs continues live Sunday at 1 Eastern with racing from New Hampshire. Coverage begins Saturday at 7:30 Eastern with Xfinity Series racing from Kentucky presented by Nexium. NASCAR is on NBCSN. There's John Singleton. Sacrifice fly plated the first run for Fresno in the first inning. Lined out and flied out. George Grant along with Bobby Valentine and John Manuel in the Gildan National Championship game. It's a one-night, one-game winner-take-all championship between the Fresno Grizzlies of the Houston organization, who won the Pacific Coast League Championship, beating Round Rock, and the Columbus Clippers from the Cleveland organization, who defeated the Indianapolis Indians for this trip to the Gildan National Championship game in beautiful El Paso. We're at the Southwest University Park, home of the El Paso Chihuahuas, and boy, have they done a tremendous job in and around this ballpark. Long time since you and I have been here, Bobby, but it's a great, beautiful baseball setting. On the corner for a strike, 2-2.
And you couldn't get better weather. The game has let us down a little because of the competitive nature or lack of competitiveness, but you've seen really good players. And this John Singleton, when he gets a little more selective at the plate, I really like his rhythm with his swing. I think he's going to be able to do some damage in the future.
Big, strong left-handed hitter, all told. A banner year. 22 home runs for him, a big power source in this Fresno lineup. And that's ball 4. So a 2-out walk. Runner marches down to first, and here comes L.J. Hose, who reached on an error, popped up and grounded out. By the way, we want to say congratulations to this Houston organization. Jeff Luna, the general manager, Quentin McCracken from the player development side of it, who's been so instrumental in helping to assimilate young players into the philosophy of the Astros and the philosophy of winning. Q was a winning player in his day, wasn't he?
Loved his attitude in uniform, and I'd love to see him around these young players. I'm sure he inspires them every time he's around.
Probably going to be a general manager one of these days. From the stretch, Johnson. This one sawed off, but blooped into left for a base hit. So the first hit for Hose. And that'll bring up Andrew Applin again. Reached on an infield hit, walked and doubled.
Yeah, Hose got out in front of that a little, hit it off the end, but when you hit it off the end and it finds a home between the shortstop and the left fielder, it's a really nice way for a bat to get into the firewood stage.
Applin reached on an infield hit in the first, walked to lead off the third, and then doubled to start the rally in the fifth.
George, you saw that bat broken there, hit off the end. I was in Japan for 6 years, and what they do in Japan when the major league player breaks a bat, the team makes chopsticks out of the bats with the player's name and the logo of the team. Sells them in the souvenir stand.
Still got some of those?
I do.
Bouncer back to the mound, and that'll take care of it. So a walk, no harm. The lead still belongs to Fresno.
John Manuel back here in El Paso on NBC Sports Network with Brad Taylor, general manager of the Chihuahuas. A pretty great setting, pretty great weather for you guys. What does it mean to the city and to the organization to have this game played here?
Well, you know, from the support we had from the onset, this is why this game is possible after just 2 seasons. This city spoke loudly and proudly in their support of the Chihuahuas. Because of that, we got this game really quickly, and tonight they're on the national stage, and they couldn't be prouder of their own city.
So after an event like this, what comes next? What's the next step for this franchise?
Well, I think this puts us on a launching pad to help El Paso continue to be the great sports town that it is. And down the road, there's other events that we can have here, like soccer, concerts, boxing, and that's all very possible. And certainly, we'd love to get a AAA All-Star game here at some point as well.
And more baseball tonight. Back to you guys.
Thanks, John. And as you saw, the first hit of the night for the Columbus Clippers, a base hit by Audie Siriaco, and a nice round of applause from the sellout crowd here at El Paso for Chris Devenski, who pitched no-hit ball through 5 and gives up a hit to the leadoff batter here in the 6th. Heck of a night for Devenski. Bobby.
Maybe the first time he threw back-to-back fastballs. He threw one on the outside for strike 1. Tried to throw the next one in off the plate, but it got all of the plate, and a good inside-out hitting by Siriaco for that base hit of the game.
So from the stretch for the first time tonight is Devenski as he faces James Ramsey. By the way, congratulations again, and a big thanks to Brad Taylor, the general manager here at Southwest University Park, and to Josh Hunt, the owner and CEO, and Alan Ledford, the president. They've done just a tremendous job, and they've been so helpful. Also, thanks to Timmy Haggerty, the broadcaster here, has been so helpful to you and to me in the last couple of days. And while we're mentioning some of the broadcasters, we want to say congratulations to the guys who are covering the game tonight. There's a fly ball into center. Backing up and under it is Andrew Applin for the first out of the inning. So 1 out and 1 on, and up there in the booth, the 2 broadcasters for Columbus that are doing the game right now, Scott Leo and Ryan Mitchell. They do such an outstanding job. And don't forget Wayne Harrer, who's been working with Columbus for 28 years. And our thanks to Anthony Slosser, the information director, and also a hi and a hello to Doug Greenwald, who you didn't see him in that shot there. They're alternating broadcasts tonight. Dougie, of course, the broadcaster for Fresno, 13 years of broadcaster, and the son of the great Hank Greenwald, who's a Hall of Fame caliber broadcaster. Hank, you and I have known him for years. He was outstanding.
He was indeed, and my thanks to all those guys for stopping and give us some information. We are the rookies here of AAA baseball, and they're letting us take a center stage to bring this great game to our nation.
Say it so often, you know, going around minor league baseball, spending all these years doing this game, that even though the broadcasters we talked about, and like Howard Kellman, who just finished broadcasting for Indianapolis in their Governor's Cup final series against Columbus, you don't have to be in the major leagues to be a major league broadcaster. And the guys we just talked about are major league caliber broadcasters, and you hope someday they get that chance.
Exactly, George. They give a great effort, give a great performance, and there's just only so many major league jobs. And heck, some guys like the great Vince Scully stay around for quite a while. 1
more year for the great Vince Scully. There's a breaking ball that drops in there for a strike, and that'll take care of Gallus. Anthony Gallus becomes the 6th strikeout victim for Chris Devenski. And back to the top of the order, Tyler Holt, who's 0 for 2, a pop-up and a strikeout.
It's really interesting. We talked about the changeup all night, but Devenski's slowest pitch is his curveball, which is always the case. The curveball is always slower because you have your hand on the side of the ball, but you know, the mixture of speeds and pitchers is really something that I think this kid could bank on. If he stays healthy, I think he can get hitters out at any level.
Swing and a miss, no balls and 2 strikes. It's funny how things work. Dan Straley was supposed to be the Grizzlies starter in the championship game tonight, but he was recalled by the Astros on Sunday night. So this kid gets a chance, and boy, is he taking advantage of it. A national TV debut on NBCSN, and he hasn't missed a beat. And he reminds us just a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, Chris Dwyer pitched 7 innings of 1-hit baseball, had a no-hitter as well. going until the 6th inning in that game when Omaha was victorious over Durham for the AAA championship. So not a stranger to that kind of night as this game. Quick flip from third to first. That'll take care of it as White gets the out. First hit of the night, but Davinsky has been super special on this night. 7-0. The lead belongs to Fresno. The 2015 AAA National Championship on NBCSN is being brought to you by Gildan, official partner of AAA baseball. Gildan, every thread counts. And by Fred Loya Insurance, being local matters. Welcome back to El Paso, Texas. Standing room only crowd has watched Fresno build up a 7-0 lead. And don't forget, Saturday night at 12:30 Eastern, the Samurai of Speed head to the land of the rising sun. Can Lewis Hamilton keep his bid for back-to-back championships on track? The F1 Japanese Grand Prix live Saturday night at 12:30 Eastern on NBCSN. Coverage presented by PowerShares. Coverage tonight presented by Gildan. The national championship game on NBC Sports. Gildan, the world's largest supplier of t-shirts, underwear, and active socks. And if you're an athlete, you've probably worn some Gildan merchandise. And tonight, the players are too. 7-0 Fresno, and the next pitcher for Chris Treme is Joe Colon, the 25-year-old right-hander out of Caguas, Puerto Rico. Big, tall righty delivers. Loop down the left field line. Over to make the catch. Robbie Grossman, and there's one away.
And Colon looks like he has a very nice, easy delivery. Delivers at 91, 92 miles an hour. Has a slider and I believe a split. He's in this game wishing that it was closer, but probably thinking that it's time to pack the bags and pitch a little winter ball.
You've been on both sides of winter ball. What's the experience like?
I think it's a fabulous experience. I think, you know, you get the extra reps. You get to a foreign country. You get to be a minority, which a lot of guys, you know, don't get to experience when they're in college and in the minor leagues. And you go down there and live in somebody else's world. While you're doing that, you're seeing the guys that you're going to see in the major leagues as you get older. And I wouldn't trade it for anything.
There's Heineman, swing and a miss from Colon. And two quick outs here in the 7th.
Nice slider down and in. Almost unhittable. Get it up about 8 inches. Real easy for a left-hander. Keep it down there. And it's either a foul ball off their shin or it's a swing and miss and grab some pine.
Hit right on the button, but right at the pitcher. So it's a quick 1-2-3. Finally, something that Columbus was looking for. 7-0 Fresno with the lead. Gildan, every thread counts. Our defensive play of the day. And Bobby, what can you say when you got a guy throwing a no-hitter? He's our defensive man of the night.
He's on the defensive side of the ball, and he and the catcher are playing catch as the hitters are baffled the entire night. Fabulous stuff, fabulous repertoire, and he mixes his pitches well. Probably going to be his last inning, and he's already given up a hit, but a really fine performance.
Chris Davinsky, our Gildan defensive player of the night. Davinsky, outstanding. If you joined us late, 5 innings of no-hit baseball. The first batter of the 6th, Audie Siriaco, got a base hit to right to break up the no-hitter, and it kind of reminds us of the, I'm just going back through my score sheet from 2 years ago. Chris Dwyer went into the 7th inning with a no-hitter for Omaha. Got the first 2 outs on strikeouts, and then Tim Beckham got up and got a base hit off him. So after 6 2/3, he lost his no-hitter. So this game has seen some pretty special pitching performances. Dwyer went 7 innings, allowed 1 hit, and struck out 8 on the way to the victory that night when Omaha was victorious over Durham. And on this night, boy, he has been special. And the offensive side of the ball has been the same story for Fresno from the get-go. 3 in the first, 2 in the second, another in the third, and another in the 5th inning. 7-0. The lead belongs to Fresno.
I know that bullpen of Fresno is expecting a lot more work with a Double-A pitcher coming up, getting his first start at Triple-A in this big stage. But looks like all they're going to have is 6 outs, and we'll see what Davinsky does this inning to see if he could complete 7 innings of fabulous performance.
Here's Eric Gonzalez. He bounced. He struck out first time up and popped out his second time up. 0 for 2. Well, they used to call when Trevor Hoffman had that great changeup Daffy Duck, right?
It's an equalizer. There's no doubt about it. As we mentioned, the fastball becomes better, the curveball becomes better, and the opposition just wants to turn the page. He has it going tonight, and there's no aggressiveness from this Columbus Clippers offensive attack.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss.
Change up. Strike 3.
Strikeout number 7. Here's his manager, Tony DeFrancesco, talking about this young right-hander.
I think he was the pitcher of the year down in Double-A for Corpus Christi, and very tough kid. When you get to see this kid, very intense, very focused, and you know, I think he's just a workhorse. And if he can go 3 or 4 innings for us, that's a plus. You know, I got a winter ball bullpen down there. We're going to match up all day, so I'm planning on a long day to try to get this win.
Well, Tony didn't have to worry about that once he gave number 31 the ball. Into the 7th with 1 out. Here's Jesus Aguilar, struck out and bounced out. You know, Bobby, when you came up, I guess Andy Messersmith probably had the best changeup. Who are the best changeups you've come across?
Yeah, Andy from the right side. Of course, Al Downing, who gave up number 715 to Hank Aaron, had a great changeup from the left side. You know, when you could throw it, you could win with it. And both of those pitchers, as well as other pitchers who have come along, I want to thank the rookie of the year, Roger Metzger, with the Padres, if you remember, had basically just the changeup. That pitch right there.
John Manuel. John, you've been around college baseball and professional baseball a long time. This changeup's pretty lethal.
It is, and talking to Chris yesterday, guys, he talked about when he really discovered that changeup, and it was 4 years ago, almost exactly, September 2nd, 2011, when he was in Class A ball with the Astros. Had just gotten traded over from the White Sox. He threw a complete game, 9 innings, so he's capable. 1 walk, no hitter, with 16 strikeouts, and his recollection yesterday was that out of 105 pitches in that game, 60 were changeups, and that was the start where the conviction in this pitch really became total for him. It became his go-to pitch, and it became his identity as a pitcher, and you can see it tonight on a writ large in a championship game.
Strikeout number 8. You know, and probably that's the first hurdle you have to get over, Bobby, is you're afraid to throw it because it's not your best stuff, but if you don't throw it, it's never going to be a valuable pitch.
And how you use your other pitchers. There, once again, he threw his 87-mile-an-hour fastball, darting in on the right-hander where they just have this protection swing and foul it off so he could go with another changeup away and strike him out.
What a way to wrap up the 7th. Strikeouts number 7, 8, and 9 for the 25-year-old right-hander from California, Chris Davinsky. 7-0 Fresno. Back at El Paso, time for our Pert Plus offensive plays of the game. All postseason long, Kemp, Presley, and White have been doing it. Same story tonight. Kemp singles, steals second. Alex Presley gets his 18th hit of the postseason to make it 4-0. And then Tyler White drills one off the wall in left center field to make it 5-0. And from then on, it's just up to Davinsky to keep it where it is, and boy, did he. Our Pert Plus offensive plays of the night, that all came in the 2nd inning, made it 5-0, and Fresno has cruised since that point in time. And really, you look at Fresno and offensively, Kemp, Presley, White, Singleton, the top 4 of the order have been doing it all season long. And this postseason has been no different. There's a fly ball to right by Kemp, glove by Michael Choice, and Kemp is retired. Kemp tonight grounded out, single, grounded out, flied out, and here in the 7th he flies out to the right fielder. Here in the 8th, rather.
It's been very impressive the entire game. I think the most impressive thing was when he was on first base and he worked the left-hander and stole the base with a very good catcher, and Adam Moore throwing a strike down the second. He still stole the base aggressively and really ignited his team.
Here's Presley, who led all of minor league baseball in the postseason with 16 hits coming in. He got 2 more. Make it 3 more hits tonight. This one into the alley in right center field. Go round first, head to second, and stop there with a 2-base hit. Alex Presley in scoring position with 1 out here in the 8th.
And Alex Presley has hit the ball on the button as well as I've ever seen a player do in 5 at-bats. Every time he has swung the bat, he's ignited a line drive somewhere in the ballpark. This one going in the right center field for 2 bases. He is, as they like to say, locked in, feeling good, seeing it good. It's all in slow motion. You name it, he's got it going.
He's had some good moments, Bobby, at the major league level. He's bounced up and down, and he's a solid defender and at times can be a spark plug offensively. You hope he gets another chance along the road. Still now at 30 years of age with some baseball left in him. And here's maybe the biggest swinger of this Fresno lineup, Tyler White. And of course, you know, we talk about all of this, and we mentioned it earlier tonight. The guy who really drove the train for Fresno all season long was Matt Duffy. He was the MVP of the Pacific Coast League. 26-year-old third baseman who was just exceptional, made it to the major leagues, called up by Houston, got his first major league hit this past week. And Tony DeFrancesco saying all his teammates were there looking, hoping, and most of them got a chance to see that first major league hit. But Duffy is something special.
Yeah, Duffy is, he looks good doing it, and he is good doing it. And he's going to be at the major league level, I think, for a long time. Only had a few glimpses of him, but looks really good. Where Tyler White he's got to keep earning it, because he doesn't look as good until the bat meets ball, and when that happens, there's action. And unless you put him on a strict breaking ball diet, from what I've seen tonight, he can wear out a fastball no matter where it's thrown, inside, outside, up or down.
3 balls, 1 strike. You certainly can see the likeness to Kevin Youkilis, though, after you watch him for a few at bats, huh? Yeah,
well, he's right-handed. He's rather unorthodox, not as much, has a beard, and the ball comes off his bat with a nice sound. A lot of similarities.
Colon walks his first batter, so first and second with 1 out. And here's John Singleton, the first baseman. Sacrifice fly, knocked in the first run, lined out, flied out, and walked.
That's a really good take by Singleton, and I think he's locked in, wanting to do damage here. 7-0. Knows he's on TV, knows that this might be the end of this minor league season, and I think he wants to end it on a high note.
Presley doubled. He's sitting out at second, and White walked down at first. And on his way out to the mound is Tony Arnold, the pitching coach, to talk to his big right-hander. There is double-barreled action in the bullpen for Columbus. Are they checking him? You all right?
No, I think they're just making sure that if he walks this guy or he gives up a bomb, that the next guy's ready to come into the game.
Sean Markham, the veteran right-hander, loosening in the bullpen. Two balls, no strikes to Singleton.
That's the patience I was talking about earlier in the game. He's seeing that outside corner very well, taking pitches that are off the plate. It might even have a green light here on 3-0, George.
Right down the middle for a strike.
Got to learn to do a lot of things in the minor leagues, and you have to learn to hit 3-0 also.
Left field hit pretty hard, but right there will be the left fielder. Ramsey will haul it in. Second out of the inning. Well, we've talked about Matt Duffy, who's maybe the premier prospect from Fresno. How do you add things up, John Manuel, when you look at the players on this team who figure to be top prospects?
You know, I think you have to give some of the benefit of the doubt to Colin Moran, who's not playing in this game, nephew of B.J. Surhoff, 6th overall pick in the 2014 draft. Really had a terrible first half of the year, but really came on in the second half at AA Corpus Christi. Has played 3 games in these playoffs, but tellingly they are playing Tyler White ahead of him here in Fresno in the postseason, and White's been outstanding. So, like you said, Bobby, I think White's going to have to keep earning it. And I guess the other prospect really offensively for them is Tony Kemp. Unique profile, but to me he's kind of a Sean Figgins kind of player. Offensively, he has that kind of upside. I think the difference for him, and Bobby can speak to this, is defensively Figgins had real arm strength, left side of the infield defense, arm strength. And that's something that Tony lacks, but Tony does have the ability to play some center field, left field, and be a super utility with the deep bullpens and short benches in the big leagues. That's a valuable role going down the future.
How good can Duffy be?
I like Matt Duffy. To me, he's more of a utility corner guy than an everyday guy. This organization's really pretty invested in my mind in Colin Moran. They almost took him first overall a couple years back in 2014.
Pop out fly ball. 7-0 Fresno going to the 8th. Diaz will lead it off. Pleasant night for baseball on the September night in El Paso, and reminding you that Saturday night it's the first heavyweight title fight in prime time on NBC in 30 years as undefeated champion Deontay Wilder defends his title Saturday at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. Premier Boxing Champions is on NBC. Well, the night is over for Chris Davinsky, and what a night it has been. Taken over is Jordan Jankowski as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. For Davinsky, 9 strikeouts on the night. He allowed only 1 hit. That was a leadoff hit by Audie Siriaco in the 6th inning. He was outstanding at a time when his team needed it. Boy, did he give it to him.
And George, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Clippers swing the bats here for the next 2 innings, regardless of who's throwing, just because Davinsky's out of there and they're just going to try to leave a little something on the table.
There's Yandy Diaz, who flied out and lined out 0 for 2. In the air to right. Alex Presley over, calls it in, and there's one away here in the bottom of the 8th.
Or not.
Jordan, 26 years of age, a Pennsylvania native. Here's Michael Choice, the right fielder, grounded out, struck out 0 for 2. These are 2 teams that have had a long battle to get to this spot. Columbus Clippers, of course, played the first 2 games of the Governor's Cup Final Series at home. Boy, their fans were treated. Ken Schnocky, the president and general manager, let everybody in for free. Over 12,000 in the park for those games. And they responded, giving this club the impetus it needed to win 2. They ended up going to Indianapolis, and the Indians, of course, strung it out to 5 games before Columbus came home with a victory. Columbus 84-44 during the regular season. Lined into right field. There's a base hit. Second hit of the night. Choice gets it with 1 out here in the 8th inning.
Yeah, 12,000 fans per game, George.
Mhm.
They had 3 games, over 30,000 in attendance, all free. Wonderful gesture by the Clippers, and you know, that's a franchise there in Ohio that has done baseball proud for a long time.
Hey, realistically, Ken Schnocky knows it. You get to October in Columbus, it's Ohio State football time. And they came out. There's a great atmosphere in the ballpark, and it helped spur that club on.
Well, it's tough to sell a playoff ticket in the minor leagues. You don't know if the team's going to be in. You know, people make plans late in the summer. It's a tough thing to do.
Here's Audie Siriaco, had the first hit for the Clippers to lead off the 6th inning. Flied out, singled, 1 for 2. So 1 out and 1 on with Ramsey, the left fielder, on deck. By the way, our congratulations out tonight to Pete Mackanin, the interim manager for the Philadelphia Phils.
Interim no more.
Interim no more. The man who would go to the winter meetings with a card saying interim manager for hire. He was the interim in Pittsburgh, the interim in Cincinnati, the interim in Philadelphia, and now he'll be the full-time manager. Congratulations to Pete. Way out in front, swing and a miss. Siriaco's retired, 2nd out of the inning. Chris Tremme, the manager of this Columbus team, when the season is over, will head to winter ball in Venezuela. He'll be a bench coach in Venezuela. Everybody splits, goes different ways. So many coaches now on the Fresno side. Ace Adams, the pitching coach, will head back to Massachusetts. He lives in the Boston area. He'll do pitching clinics, and Leon Roberts will do hitting clinics back home for him, working with minor leaguers and amateur players as well. Leon's outstanding. And he and Ace Adams, 2 guys who certainly have earned their keep wherever they've been.
You know, I played with Leon Roberts in '79 for the Seattle Mariners. He was one of the few good hitters, along with Tom Paciorek and Bruce Bhakti, on that team. And it's good to see him still loving the game, contributing, and watching his team really swing the bat tonight.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Ramsey, the left fielder. And that'll do it. So 2 more strikeouts, 11 strikeouts on the night for Fresno pitching, and the changeup has been the pitch of the night, both for Davinsky and here in the 8th inning for Jankowski as well. 7-0 Fresno. The 2015 AAA National Championship on NBCSN is being brought to you by Gildan, official national partner of AAA baseball. Gildan, every thread counts. And by Jana King. Who cleans your office? For businesses around the world, Jana King is the most trusted choice. Learn more at janaking.com. Back at Southwest University Park in downtown El Paso, those lights that you saw outside the ballpark, that's Mexico. We're only a couple hundred yards away from the Mexican border. When you were out riding your bike today, did you head across the border, or did you stay on this side?
No, I stayed on this side, but I got up high enough where I could, as I mentioned, I could see New Mexico and Texas all from the same spot. It's really pretty cool.
Here's Andrew Alpin. Infield hit, walk, double, and bounced out in his 4 plate appearances tonight as he leads it off. Top of the 9th, and this guy's been around a long time, Bobby. He's been a great teammate every place he's been, Sean Markham.
Yeah, and a contributor on the mound, too. At one time, an ace of the staff. Watching his Toronto Blue Jays now in first place, a team that he spent a good amount of time with, and still pitching for the love of the game, and hoping to get picked up. Get a few more years in at 33. Throwing like that, he might.
Now, this has been a great year, and it's been a tremendous year just for the Fresno franchise, but also for the whole organization. And Tony DeFrancesco, who came over to this organization and has bought into everything they're doing, says it's a winning attitude that's starting to come forth in Houston.
About players and moves, and I think that helps. That gives us, some confidence that you believe in us. There's a lot of phone calls between Jeff and myself about player development and, which direction we're going. But I think as a system, we have a base running plan. We got a pitching philosophy, hitting philosophy, and everybody's on the same page all the way through, and it kind of works. The players, when they move up the ladder quick, we're all in sync together, and we can perform a winning attitude.
And it sure has been a winning year for this Fresno team under that guy, Tony DeFrancesco, native of the Bronx, and also for the whole Houston organization. 7 teams into the postseason. Pretty good.
They've got it going, George, and it's easy to say, it's harder to do, but when organizations do work together, when the minor leagues and the major leagues, when AA and AAA, when the coordinator down in the instructional league is preaching the same gospel as the major league manager 3,000 miles away, it makes for that proper attitude, which then becomes the winning attitude.
Whatever level, whatever league, whatever sport, a winning attitude probably more important or equally important than the athletes that you put out there. And that guy's been a motivator every place he's been, and Fresno included in that. He is active in the community. He's helped win over what was a Giants community to help to make it an Astro community. 2 strikeouts for Marcum, and kind of an emotional moment for him. He hasn't announced it, showing Marcum on the mound, but he probably is going to head off into the sunset. He's going to coach at the high school level, and just talking to him before the game tonight, there's a little bit of introspective look at this night and in his career. Toronto, Milwaukee, and Cleveland, 10 years in the major leagues. Every place he's been, he's helped make his team better, helped make, not just the numbers or strikeouts or innings pitched, but what kind of a teammate he's been. And number 28's been a darn good teammate.
Well, it's great to see him on the mound here in his final game, in the final inning, and give him the memory that he so dearly deserves.
No balls, 2 strikes to Tyler Heineman, the catcher, in the dirt.
And would be something to end it on a strikeout, and a strikeout.
Made his way up to Cleveland for some spot starts this year, and then finishes the season down with Chris Tremme and Columbus. Popped up. Gonzalez calling, and it's a 1-2-3 ninth. The memories, the thoughts for that guy, Sean Marcum. Great teammate.
We'd like to say congratulations to all fans for tonight's Gildan AAA.
Well, people in the ballpark don't know, not many people around baseball, but his teammates knew. And as he left the field with a 1-2-3 performance, this was the hugs and the moments that he'll share forever with his teammates on this Columbus team. You look at his pitching coach behind him there, Tony Arnold, as he follows him every step of the way. Sean Marcum, his career started back in 2003 in Auburn, drafted by Toronto. The trips along the road took him to Toronto, to Milwaukee, to the Mets, and then to the Indians as well. And Bobby, I'm sure you remember your last appearance too.
Well, a 13-year career there from Sean Marcum. You have to tip your hat to him, but it happened so quickly. It seems like it was just yesterday that it started for him, just like it seems like yesterday that it started for me. And now I'm at Sacred Heart University, athletic director, watching young athletes who are dreaming about having that opportunity. And one thing that we continue to tell them and continue to tell everyone else is that you have to enjoy it while you're doing it, because it does end very quickly.
Seven runs, 13 hits, no errors for Fresno. No runs, 2 hits, and an error for the Columbus Clippers. Anthony Gallus got the worst of that one. Chad Wolf, the trainer, will come out and check him out as we go to the bottom of inning number 9 here in El Paso. Another look at this one, Bobby.
Yeah, it looked like a fastball down that he took a swing at, and all of a sudden he felt that knee on his front side clicked the wrong way. Trying to see if he could be in there. A lot of times when guys get firm on the front side, George, they get so firm it hyperextends that front knee, and it gets a little discomforting. But right now it looks like he's shaking it off. He's back in, and he's going to try to end this season on a good note.
Well, season to remember for both these teams. On this night, it's been Fresno on the smiling side of the scoreboard, but two teams that have been outstanding from top to bottom in this 2015 season. And no matter who they put out there, if you joined us late, Chris Davinsky was remarkable on this night. Davinsky had 5 innings of no-hit ball, didn't get up his first hit till the 6th.
Yeah, this is 2 championship teams playing, George, and no one has to hold their head down, that's for sure. Hold their head up, because they've done their franchises and they've done their towns proud, both Columbus and Fresno.
By the way, do you remember your last appearance?
I was afraid you were going to say that. No, I don't. I do in the National League. It was at Wrigley Field. I had a lot of friends there. I don't really remember in the American League. It was rather uneventful, though. I'm probably sure of that. My last game, I probably didn't play. That's why I don't remember it. And my last at bat was something that I felt wasn't going to be my last at bat.
Now, Bobby, it started 69 and MVP at Ogden and MVP at Spokane with Tommy Lasorda, who today you helped celebrate a birthday with.
Yeah, George, you remember your last at bat? Do you remember it, George?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yep.
Tell us.
No, that's not about me on this night. I remember more my first one.
Yes. Your first one, you know it's your first one. Sometimes the last one, you don't know it's your last one until somebody else tells you.
No balls, 2 strikes. James Hoyt trying to wrap things up for this Fresno pitching staff that has been outstanding tonight. 9 strikeouts for Davinsky. 2 more in the 8th inning for Jankowski.
Hoyt has a good arm. Looks like a guy who could be a potential starter or closer.
And it reminds you a little bit of Rob Nen out there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Big, wonky, lean guy.
Yeah. Might even be taller than Rob. Maybe even closer to Chris Young.
Hit pretty good to left. Grossman back, he'll glove it. 1 out away. And don't forget, Sunday Night Football's coming your way. We'll be in Detroit for America's Game of the Week as Peyton Manning and the Broncos take on Calvin Johnson and the Lions. That's Sunday Night Football. Bob Costas and Dan Patrick host Football Night in America. Coverage begins 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, only on NBC. Great to have you with us on NBC-SN tonight for the Gildan National Championship game. It's one night, winner take all, between the PCL champion Fresno Grizzlies and the champions of the International League, the Columbus Clippers. And it's on this night. Offensively, Fresno took charge early, and with Chris Davinsky being outstanding, they've commanded the game from the get-go. That's a looping line drive into right off the bat of Gonzalez, and a 2-out base hit. Gonzalez first hit of the night. 2 strikeouts, a fly ball, and that base hit to right.
Not a lot of replays from the offensive side of the Clippers. That was a nice line drive to right field.
Well, here's Brett Hayes, who'll come in to pinch hit. Hayes, backup catcher for Adam Moore behind the plate. Hayes, no stranger to playoff baseball. He homered in this game, a 2-run shot that proved to be a deciding swing for him. Last year when Omaha defeated Pawtucket, it was Hayes' 7th inning home run that broke a 2-2 tie and gave Omaha the lead in a game that they would eventually win and claim the AAA championship. Well, Brett gets the opportunity to pinch it here. Here's the 0-2 delivery. Popped up. Is there going to be room? Heineman circling, and he'll haul it in, and that'll do it. A long season of baseball, and the Fresno Grizzlies, a long trip to get here, but they'll go home with a smile on their face and the smiling side of the scoreboard. Well, this night started as you look at Tony Kemp there saying, we came here to win, and that's exactly what they're doing. The celebration and the smiling scoreboard for Fresno, and Chris Tremi and his Columbus Clippers on the other side have nothing to be ashamed about. A great season of 84 victories and a Governor's Cup championship. But to the victors go the spoils, and there's a happy group out there right now, Bobby.
Yeah, they're happy. They are celebrating. They've got the victory. They get another ring and another championship, and they did it on the back of a young man who came up from AA. So it's a wonderful story. You'll see many careers that will continue. We saw one that we know did end, and baseball is that wonderful sport that gives you so many memories, and I think I'll have a great memory of this time with you tonight, George, and I'm sure all the players in uniform will have just as great a memory of this wonderful night.
Yeah, Bobby, you had a great minor league career. You were an MVP, played at the AAA level, you managed at the AAA level, you had an outstanding career at the major league level and managed there too, but your roots never leave you. And for these guys, the year they went through, and you talk to each of them, guys on both teams, saying what a special year it was as they came together as the year progressed to be champions. And even though Columbus did not win tonight, they were champions of the International League. They won the Governor's Cup, tying Rochester for the most ever Governor's Cup victories with 10. They'll remember these days forever.
There's no doubt in my mind. I was just with Tommy Paciorek, my first roommate ever, and you know, he played 18 years in the major leagues and broadcasted for another 15, and he conferred that the championship team in 70, the championship team in 68 are teams that we'll always remember, and why not? They're wonderful moments.
Well, stay with us. We've got the trophy presentation, the MVP to be awarded as well. The Gildan National Championship game is over, but more to come. Welcome back to El Paso, Texas. George Graham, Bobby Valentine, John Manuel. It's been a fun night for all of us. Fun for certainly the Fresno Grizzlies, who have come home with a 7-0 victory on this night to defeat the Columbus Clippers for the Gildan National Championship trophy. And when you talk about moments, whatever league it's in, whatever level it's in, the celebration never gets tired, does it, Bobby?
I don't think it gets tired. And you know, we talked about friendships that are built during a year and teammates that get to know each other. This is a new teammate tonight who was out on the mound for 7 innings. He's going to be part of this group forever, and he only spent 1 day in uniform with them.
You know, it's funny how things work, because you know, Dan Straley was scheduled to be the Grizzlies starter for the championship game, but he was recalled by the Astros on Sunday night. So what were they going to do? What direction were they going to go in? And they went in what turned out to be the right direction, and it got them a championship. Let's go down to the field to John Manuel. John.
Congratulations to El Paso on the Governor's National Championship game. You're celebrating, guys. We also want to thank Gildan, our title sponsor. Keith Whitaker is here on behalf of Gildan. Keith, thank you, and thanks to Gildan for all they've done for AAA baseball. And now represents Branch Rickey III, President of the Pacific Coast League, will do the trophy presentation. Branch.
What a super night of baseball here at Southwestern University Ballpark. Thank you, fans, for coming out tonight. This is a very special night for AAA baseball. After recognizing Gildan, I also want to recognize the parent organization for the Fresno Grizzlies, the Houston Astros. I want to recognize Quentin McCracken, the farm director, who supplied all these wonderful players. Let's have a round of recognition too for the visiting baseball team from the International League, the Columbus Clippers. Hold on, my honor now to introduce the president of the Fresno Grizzlies, Chris Cummings, to present the championship trophy to manager Tony DeFrancesco.
This has been kind of a wild year for us. We knew that we were going to have a great team, and Tony, when I first met him, said that we were going to have 85 wins this season. Well, counting this win, I think we're up at 90. This has just been incredible. We're pleased to be related to the Houston Astros organization. We're also happy to be part of the AAA baseball organization. And finally, we're proud to represent Fresno, California. So, Tony, thank you very much for everything that you've done for us, for the prediction you made at the beginning of the year, and for the fact that you followed through on what you said and you came home with 2 trophies for us. Thank you.
Congratulations. How'd you done your predictions? First of all, I want to say thank you to the fans of El Paso and the people there. What a great host, what a great event for all the players and the front office. We thank you very much for your hospitality. But how about one more hand for these ball players? What a great game. Chris Stavisky, who won his 7-inning shutout. Both had 7 down. Our offense was spectacular again. But we want to thank everybody here, the organization, the Houston Astros, the Fresno Grizzlies, and what a great year for us.
You had one close shot before the AAA championship game. Now you're able to close the deal. What's it mean to you personally?
Well, we're glad we're here in this AAA championship. You guys battled all year. It was a great win with the PCL, and it's a great memory for this group of guys to move on. Hopefully, it help the Astros finish it out and get into the playoffs this year.
And 7 playoff teams in the Houston Astros organization. What's next for this organization in your mind? What are these guys going to do to help that organization go to the top?
No doubt we're going to be in a great place for a long time. We've got some great players from behind us all the way down through A-ball. 7 teams made the playoffs. Just a great group of guys, great team effort. Couldn't be proud to be part of this.
All right, back up to George. Thank you, Tony. Congratulations, President.
Thanks, John. Great job. Job's still not done. We still have to choose the most valuable player of this night. I wonder who it might be. Bobby V.
Well, wait until after the commercial.
Back with more after this. Some of the fans still remaining here in El Paso from a standing room only crowd that has seen Fresno defeat Columbus 7-0 for the Gildan National Championship game for AAA baseball. Still to be announced the most valuable player of this particular game. Let's go back down to John Manuel. John.
Thank you, gentlemen. We're back with the MVP trophy presentation sponsored by Baseball America. To present the award is the PCL president, Branch Rickey III.
On behalf of the Gildan National Baseball Championship, it is my great pleasure to award the Most Valuable Player Award to starting pitcher tonight, Chris Stavisky.
Let's bring Chris in for a talk. Why don't we? Chris, congratulations. Get the pictures out of the way.
Speech. Speech.
Chris Stavinsky, 25 years old, Cal State Fullerton, 4 years in the Astros organization. You pitched a no-hitter at the end of the 2011 regular season, but Chris, Tony said before the game yesterday they were looking for 3 or 4 innings out of you. You pitched 2 innings in the postseason before this game, and you go on pretty much have the game of your life otherwise. You know, has it sunk in yet?
It's starting to right now. It's pretty amazing out there, you know. If, you know, I took the mentality with no limits out there, and I just want to give it my all, and I'm glad we pulled off the W.
You know, was that moment, is the moment just sinking in now, or did it sink in maybe when you came out after the 7th inning and all that dap you got from your teammates in the dugout there?
Well, I mean, it kind of did. I actually wanted to go all 9. You know, I wanted to throw the CG, but, you know, it is what it is, and it happened.
You had plenty more change-ups, though, didn't you? You had a lot more change-ups in there, and the changeup was working for you. And then how upset were you when you did give up the hit? Did you know you had a no-hitter going?
I mean, I wasn't upset. You know, it's part of the game. Things like that are going to happen, but, you know, I was just focused on the next pitch.
Now, you came up from AA here late in the year for AAA. How were you accepted into this clubhouse, and what's it mean to be part of a championship team like this?
Oh, it's freaking amazing. We're national champions. I mean, come on, you know, let's get loud. I want to hear it. Come on, everyone get up. There we go. Hashtag slide gate. You know what I'm saying? 559 Fresno, California. You know what I'm saying? So let's go.
All right, last question. The changeup for the strikeout, that was like your go-to pitch tonight, was it not? When did you know that you had it? Did you know you had it down the bullpen pregame, or did you figure that out in the first inning?
You know, it was something that I prepared for in the bullpen. You know, I got a good feel for it, and, you know, I just wanted to make it the best it could be out there, and it worked for me.
Next stop Houston, right? Or next stop Fresno?
Let's go Houston. Let's go, baby.
Chris Stavinsky, the Baseball America MVP of the 2015 AAA National Championship game. Thanks, guys. Back up to you.
Thanks, John, and great job. Great to have you with us from Baseball America. Congratulations to Chris, who joins a list of guys like Brett Hayes, who won it last year, Chris Dwyer, who won it the year before, who also had a no-hitter into the 7th inning, A.J. Pollock, who's now in the major leagues. A list of fine players, and that young man right there, Chris Stavinsky, will join that list. Bobby, a special night for those players, a special season for these two teams, and even though the victory goes to Fresno tonight, these are two teams that leave with a lot of fond memories.
A lot of great memories and a lot of lessons learned tonight, George. When you look at Tony Kemp, who's the smallest guy out in the field, igniting his team on offense. When you see Tyler White, who's not the best looking baseball player, a little unorthodox at the plate, but driving balls off the wall and hitting the ball solid all night and carrying his team, batting 3rd. And you see a guy with an 88-mile-an-hour fastball and a great changeup, believing in the stuff that he has is good enough to get guys out at that next level. That's the idea that has to be understood by all those youngsters out there. Be as good as you can be at what you're doing.
For Bobby Valentine, for John Manuel and our entire crew, this is George Graham. The Gildan National Championship trophy goes to Fresno.